Hey guys, first talking clip, so I should get started on some coding. So what I did there was I had coursework that was on my root webpage since I'm using GitHub to deploy, which so I just created a new repo, moved all my code into there, and now for my root webpage I'm going to turn that into a portfolio, which I'm starting from scratch. So pray. I do already have a portfolio, but that was part of my Microsoft Learn Ambassador, and I feel like it's easier to upgrade when you start a new one instead of trying to upgrade stuff you already have, So let's go. It is now time to clock in for actual work. Hello guys, welcome to Day in the Life. I'm not sure, I probably won't input. So I was up around 5:40 and I started on my new portfolio. So you'll see some clips of that. But now it's speakable hours, so I can speak. It's 9:30, I'm clocked in for work. My first task is to update my goals page. So I use my goals page as referencing for my report. So I always format my goals in star format. So I need to update it with a few more stuff that I've managed to achieve. And then next I have a call into a migration demo, which is fine, and then that's lunch. So updating goals, you shall see probably a wee time lapse with that because I can't exactly show you the client screen, but yeah, let's go. Alright, so I finished updating my goals. So a lot of the stuff that I had down in my Notion, to-do list aspect of it, were not goals that are relevant anymore, if that makes sense. So I had basically around 10 goals, which were all my learning outcomes, and we just put that into Culture Amp so I could add in comments when I'm working towards it. So I addressed majority of them in my first and second report, and now for my third report I have 4 goals that I need to obviously build a report around, and 2 of them I've already written my STARL sections for. One of them is chunky, so it's implement and maintain computing solutions according to requirements, which I've done. Right now my goals is 90%, but the 2 that are a little slow is, they didn't mention anything about testing, but once they're a little slow, if I pull up my laptop again, but I think I'm looking at the top of them, it's identify user needs and develop requirements, and then apply knowledge in the production of documentation. Yeah, my testing one, my test goal is 60%, and that's mainly made up of smoke testing, which is fair enough because I feel like even with straight development, you do a lot of smoke testing, and then it's gone to the testing team. So I'm doing the same thing, just in a different style, So yeah, so I've done my testing and implement and maintain computing solutions according to requirements. Those are my 2 ones that are big. So again, testing is 60% and implement is 90%. The ones that need work is apply knowledge and production of user documentation, which is 30%, and then identify user needs and develop requirements, which is 40%. Why documentation is small? Because documentation is normally done at the end of client projects, and obviously it takes a while for client projects to wrap up. But I'm picking that up with writing documentation on the placement app I built at the start of my placement, as well as I've done one piece of documentation for a client work that hasn't wrapped up, but we've moved off of the first phase, so documentation is needed for that. And I'm now currently going into another client work for documentation, but can't exactly write up the goals since I haven't finished the documentation, if that makes sense. I'm only just started it, which is what my call is for after. But yeah, and then identify user needs is kind of because requirements have already been set. The stuff that I have that's made at 40% is, say, for the starter guide we did at the start of the year, when we kind of just built up requirements on what we would have wanted when we onboarded. And then the Power App that I made at the start of my placement. So I can update my progress actually. That will take it to 60% because I've got 3 stuff in there. Yay! So now it's 60 and 30%. 30% is because we had a small documentation. Each of my inputs is normally 20%. Sorry, I should have said that. So I have one big one of documentation, which is the client project. Nearly said the client name. Don't think I'm allowed to say that. And then the second one was the presentation that we did, which is kind of documentation, but it's just in video format. But yeah, I am now going to go get some water. So this is a very quick breakfast because my call is now in 15 minutes. Just apple pie and obviously some trusty old water. I should have got apple juice, that's what I originally planned. Darn it. But I have my call and it's very soon to lunch anyway, so I'll have lunch in about an hour's time anyway. So my call has been pushed back because of some client stuff on their side. So I'm gonna read my placement tracker documentation and then send that to my line manager. So hopefully all things are good and I locked in just enough. But yeah. Hi mommy, give me some breakfast. Hash brown and egg. Okay, it's lunchtime. It's actually halfway through lunchtime. That is crazy. I don't know how time flies like that, but I think... Okay, so I've got a photo here. I'm gonna switch the photos out as I mentioned before, but I think now I'm gonna try and make the boxes bigger. I'll show you what I mean by the boxes. It's not even make the boxes bigger. They're currently buttons. I'm changing them so they're actual boxes. Hey guys, I'm back from lunch. Lunch went good. Good updates on the portfolio as well. So just tweaking out my about page, which the main thing is going to be changing the picture. My boxes do look a little weird because they're dark, because I've not yet decided on the background for the rest of the page. I kind of want it to be a dark website, if that makes sense, but my home starting page is very much bright. We'll tweak it out as we go along, but the thing that I do need to change is the picture, because it was quite large. It's the same as the one on my home screen, and it's just not the vibe right now. But yeah, I'm back at work, writing up my meeting notes. I have 12 minutes before my one-to-one. Guys, I just realized I always seem to record my Thursdays. It's probably that boost of I've wasted my week. But here we are. So again, same place where I updated my goals, but now I'm inputting in the checkers. Hey, so I finished up my call, and the only thing, I don't have anything blocked, so the only thing I have left on my planner is my timesheet and weblog. So I'm gonna start writing up my weblog now. Timesheet and weblog is all written up. Kanban is up to date as well, so lovely jubbly. Probably just gonna do a little cleanup task, and that will be me. I think next time I'll see you, I'll probably be getting on a bus to meet my flatmate from second year. So obviously it's been a good chunk since we've seen each other. I think I saw her last September when I started this job, because I stayed at her flat to be able to get to the office. But yeah,